Hello students, I'm Sai Baba here. So in my previous class, I have shown you the second part of the assignment in rotational motions. I have shown you the second part of the assignment in rotational motion, questions numbering from 31 to 60. So now I am going to discuss the solutions or explanation for these questions starting from question number 31. So in case you have no doubts in the questions numbering from 31 to 45, you can skip this class and you can go to the next class. Come on, look at the question number 31 on the screen. A particle of mass m and radius of gyration k is rotating with an angular acceleration alpha. The torque acting on it is. So it's a direct formula question. The torque acting on a rigid body in pure rotational motion about an axis can be written as I into alpha, where I is the moment of inertia about the axis of rotation, which can be written as I equal mk square, where m is the mass of the particle or rigid body and k is the radius of gyration. So you can write torque equal, therefore, mk square into alpha. So that will be the answer. For question number 31, first option is the answer. So see the next question. That is question number 32. The tangential force F acts at the rim of a ring of radius r and causes the ring to turn through an angle theta. The work done by the force is. So the work done on a rigid body, when the rigid body performs pure rotation motion about the fixed axis, is given by tau W equal to torque tau into angular displacement theta. Here the force F is applied tangential to the ring at a point at the rim of the ring. So perpendicular distance between the line of axis of this force, tangential force, from center of the ring or from the axis of rotation passing through center of the ring will be same as the radius of the ring. So magnitude of the torque or moment of the force, you can write RF sin theta. Here the angle between R bar and F bar is 90 degrees. So magnitude of the torque, you can write R into F, or F into R. So work done can be written as FR theta. So for the question number 32, first option is answer. Say the question number 33. The wheel has moment of inertia of 5 kg meter square. What angular speed in radian per second does the wheel attain if 10 power 5 joule of work is done in producing rotational kinetic energy? So you can apply the work energy theorem. The change in the kinetic energy of the wheel is equal to the work done, total work done by all the forces on the wheel. So change in the kinetic energy is equal to final kinetic energy minus initial kinetic energy. The wheel is initial kinetic energy 0. Final kinetic energy of the rotating body in pure rotational motion can be half I omega square, where omega is the angular speed of rotation. So here moment of inertia I is given to be 5 kg meter square, and omega work done is given 10 power 5 joules. So you can simplify this further. So you get, if you simplify this further, 4 into 10 power 4 SI units. So you get omega equal to 200 radian per second. That's the answer. So for question number 33, which I just discussed now, first option is the answer. For question number 34, you can see the question number 34. In the above question, the torque required to bring the wheel to rest in 25 seconds. The moment of inertia of the wheel is given to 5 kg meter square. The angular velocity acquired by the wheel is 200 radian per second. You have to find the time required, or torque required to bring the wheel to rest in 25 seconds. So torque equal to I alpha. To find torque, you have to find angular acceleration. Angular acceleration is equal to change in angular velocity by time interval. And the torque is constant. Alpha can be assumed to be constant. When the wheel is brought to rest, final angular velocity 0, initial angular velocity 200 radian per second can be taken as. And time interval t is 25 seconds. So you get alpha equal to minus 8 radian per second square. So the required torque can be written as I into alpha, moment of inertia into angular acceleration. That is 5 into minus 8, because we have expressed all the units in SI units. The answer will be in SI units. The negative sign indicates that the torque must be applied opposite to the direction of the initial angular velocity of rotation. So the first option is the answer for question number 34. See the question number 35. Energy of 484 joule is spent in increasing the speed of a wheel from 600 revolutions per minute to 360 revolutions per minute. The moment of inertia of the flywheel in kg meter square is. Here also, so question number 35 is similar to the previous question. I mean, same principle you have to use. So initial frequency of revolution, number of revolutions completed per unit time, we call it as frequency. So initial frequency of revolution denoted by small n subscript I, 60 revolutions per minute. RPM is revolutions per minute. So we can take 1 minute equal to 60 seconds. So initial revolution, frequency of revolution, 1 revolution per second. So final frequency of revolution denoted by n subscript f. 360 revolutions per minute. Can write 1 minute equal to 60 seconds. So that will be 6 revolutions per second. So initial angular speed I denote by omega subscript I. That is equal to pi into initial frequency of revolution, or 2 pi into 1 radian per second. The final angular speed I denoted by omega subscript f. That is equal to 2 pi into final frequency of revolution. That is 2 pi into 6 radian per second. The work done is equal to change in the kinetic energy. So change in the kinetic energy you can write, that is I am using the same principle which I used for the previous problem, work energy theorem. Change in the kinetic energy, the wheel is equal to total work done on the wheel. Change in kinetic energy of the wheel is equal to final kinetic energy of the wheel minus initial kinetic energy of the wheel. Final kinetic energy of the wheel, you can write half I omega f square. And omega f is the final angular speed or magnitude of final angular velocity. Initial kinetic of the wheel, you can write half I omega I square. Here omega subscript I represents the initial angular speed or magnitude of initial angular velocity, which can be written as equal to work done. So half I into omega f, we can write 2.6. Omega I equal to 2.1. So omega f square. Can take 2 pi square common here. Into 6 square minus 1 square. Can take 2 pi common in both these terms. So that is equal to 484 joules. This you can simplify it. Those who want to copy the solution of the problem, they can start writing the solution. 2 square means you can write 4. Pi square means you can write 22 square by 7 square or 49. That's 36 minus 1, 35, 484 joules. This is in radian per second. Omega will be in. So 22 square will be exactly equal to 484, which you can directly cancel. 7 you can cancel here. And 2 you can cancel here. So you can simplify it further. You get I equal to 0.7 kg meter square. If you want to copy the solution, you can take a pause and copy the solution. So for question number 35, which I just discussed, the second option will be the answer. Then see the question number 36. The kinetic energy of particle moving in a circle in terms of its angular momentum, mass, and radius of circular path is equal to. So angular momentum of the particle in performing pure rotational motion can be written as product of its moment of inertia and angular speed. Moment of inertia, you can write mr square into omega. I can be written as mr square. So therefore, omega you can write L by mr square. So the kinetic energy of a particular body performing pure rotational motion about a fixed axis can be written as half I omega square. So moment of inertia I can be written as mr square. Omega you can write L by mr square whole square. This you get L square by 2 mr square. That will be the answer. Alternate method is, in case you are given this question in objective type, can solve the question by the alternate method. Earlier I have discussed the relationship between angular momentum and kinetic energy for rigid body in pure rotation motion. The kinetic energy of rotation in terms of its angular momentum, moment of inertia can be L square by 2I. If you remember this result, you can directly get the answer in one step. So see the next question, 37. So for the previous question which I just discussed, 36, first option is answer. For 37th question, see the previous question, the centripetal force acting on the particle is equal to. So magnitude of the centripetal force is equal to, you can write on the particle performing uniform circular motion, you can write mv square by r, or you can also write it as mr omega square. Any one of the ways. So angular mode of the particle, you can write mvr, or you can also write I omega, that is mr square omega, as explained in the previous question. So omega can be written as L by mr square. So therefore, if you substitute omega is equal to L by mr square in this expression, so you get mr into L square by m square r power 4. So you get L square by m r cube. That is third option will be the answer for this question. See the question number 38. This I discussed in the theory part. When a rigid body is rotating, every point in it describes a circular path, whatever may be the axis of rotation. And a rigid body performs pure rotational motion. Every particle of the rigid body moves in a circular path. The center of all the circle lying on the axis of rotation. So fourth option is the answer. See the next question number 39. A wheel of moment of inertia of 0.1 kg meter square is rotating at a speed of 1200 revolutions per minute. Now it is slowed down uniformly so that it comes to rest after making 314 complete revolutions. The magnitude of the torque is, you are given the moment of inertia of the wheel as 0.1 kg meter square. To find the magnitude of the torque, you have to find the angular acceleration alpha. So initial frequency of rotation, I don't know, Ni equal to 1200 revolutions per minute. That is 1200 revolutions by 60 seconds. Or you can take initial frequency of revolution as 20 revolutions per second. So initial angular speed of the wheel, I denote by omega subscript I is equal to 2 pi into initial frequency of revolution. That is 2 pi into 20 radian per second. Or the wheel is brought to rest, means final angular velocity is 0. After making 314 complete revolutions, when the wheel completes one revolution, the angular displacement theta is 2 pi radians. So when the wheel complete 314 complete revolutions, the angular displacement theta I can write 2 pi into number of revolutions in radian. That is 2 pi radian into 314. So to find alpha, we use the equation rotational kinematics in terms of these four quantities: alpha, omega I, omega f, and theta, without the time interval. So using the equation omega f square minus omega I square equal to alpha theta. So alpha you get omega f square minus omega I square by 2 theta. Final angular speed is 0. Initial angular speed is equal to 2 pi into 20 radian per second. Theta is 2 pi into 314 radian. This you can try to simplify further. So you get here alpha equal to This you can try to simplify it. Minus 40 pi into 40 pi by 4 pi into 340. This you can try to simplify this. 4 into 100 pi 3.14. So you get alpha equal to minus 4 radian per second square. So the torque required can be done as I into alpha. I is given to 0.1 kg meter square. Alpha is minus 4 radian per second square. So the torque to be applied to bring the wheel to rest is minus 0.4 Newton meter. The negative sign indicates that the torque is to be applied opposite in each angular offset rotation. So magnitude of the torque will be 0.4 Newton meter. If you want to copy the solution, you can take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. So for question number 39, first option is the answer. See the question number 40. Actually, the figure comes in the next slide. As shown, the figure stick, half of which is made of wood and the other half of iron is pivoted as shown. The first figure 8 is pivoted at the wooden end and the force is applied to the other end at right angles to its length. So here it is pivoted the end on the left side. The part B second figure, which I will of course show you again the next slide. It is pivoted the iron or steel end and same force is applied to the other end at right angles to its length. Let L denote the length here. The angular acceleration produced is. You have to find out in which case greater angular acceleration is produced. So magnitude of the torque or moment of the force applied can be the product of the magnitude of the force and the perpendicular distance between the line of action of the force and the axis passing through the other end bow. That you can write F into L, where L is the length of the stick. So torque can be written as I into alpha. So alpha can be written as torque by I. So angular acceleration in the first case you can write torque by I1. Torque in the first case by 1. Angular acceleration in the second case you can write torque applied divided by I2. So the torque applied is same in both the cases. So in the first case, the iron or steel part is farther from the axis. Second case, the steel or iron part is nearer to the axis. So obviously, the half of the stick containing the steel or iron part will be more heavier compared to the wooden part. So mass of the iron part or steel part is more than the mass of the wooden part of the stick. So in the first case, more mass is concentrated farther from the axis compared to the second case. In second case, the mass of iron is more nearer to the axis. The iron part is nearer to the axis. That means more mass is concentrated nearer to the axis of rotation in the second figure, whereas more mass is concentrated farther from the axis in the first case. Therefore, moment of inertia in the first case is more than the moment of inertia in the second case. Or can say I2 is less than I1. Therefore, alpha 2 will be greater than alpha 1. If you want to copy the solution, you can take a pause and copy the solution. So, in the question number 40, angular acceleration is more in case B than in A. That means first option is the answer. See the question number 41. The moment of inertia of a body about a given axis is 1.2 kg meter square. Initially, the body is at rest, so initial angular velocity is 0. Omega I0, I is equal to 1.2 kg meter square. In order to produce rotational kinetic energy of 1500 joules, an angular acceleration of 25 radian per second square must be applied about that axis for duration of. So alpha is 25 radian per second square. You have to find the time taken to acquire a final kinetic energy of 1500 joules. Let us find the final angular velocity to find the time first. The final kinetic energy you can write half I omega f square. That is 1500 joules. You are given the moment of inertia I equal to 1.2 kg meter square. On the left hand side. So from that you can try to find omega f. That will be 1500 joules by 0.6 kg meter square. So this we can simplify it further. So final angular speed you get 50 radian per second. So using the formula in kinematics, rotational kinematics, final angular speed you can write initial angular speed plus alpha into t. Then alpha is constant. Final angular speed will be is 50 radian per second. Initial angular speed is 0 because it is initial at rest. Alpha is 25 radian per second square. So you get t as 2 seconds. So if you want to copy the solution of the problem, you can take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. So question number 41, second option is answer. Next, see the question number 42. Wheel of radius 20 centimeter can rotate about its center as shown in the figure. String is wrapped over its rim and is pulled by a force of 10 Newton tangential to the pulley. The angular acceleration produced is 4 radian per second square. The moment of inertia of the wheel in kg meter square is. Here also we will apply the formula for torque, that is Newton's second law for rotational motion. Torque equal to I into alpha. You are asked to find the moment of inertia I and angular acceleration produced is given to be 4 radian per second square. You have to first calculate the torque. So the unbalanced torque acting on the wheel is the torque due to the tangential force applied at the end of the wheel, whose magnitude is denoted by F, that is equal to 10 newtons. The perpendicular distance between the line of axis of the tangential force from center of the wheel, from the axis passing through the center of the wheel, same as the radius of the wheel, which are denoted by R, 20 centimeters or 0.2 meters. The weight mg acts at center of the wheel which lies on the axis of rotation. The weight mg of the wheel acts at center of the wheel which lies on the axis of rotation. Therefore, no torque is produced by the gravitational force mg acting on the wheel about center of the wheel. When the force exerted on the wheel by the support or pivot acts on the wheel at center of the wheel which lies on the axis of rotation. As I discussed in the past, if a force acts at a point that lies on the axis of rotation, moment of that force will be zero. So, magnitude of the resultant torque is same as the magnitude of the tangential force applied on the wheel. The perpendicular distance between the line of axis of the tangential force applied on the wheel from the axis, horizontal axis passing through the center of the wheel, same as the radius of the wheel. So, magnitude of torque you can write F into R equal to 0.8. So, it will torque and at 2 Newton meter. So, using the formula for torque equal to I alpha. You can write I equal to torque by alpha. Here torque you can write 2 Newton meter. Alpha is 4 radian per second square. So, you get moment of inertia of the wheel as 0.5 kg meter square. So, if you want to copy down the solution of the problem, you can take a pause and copy down the solution of the problem. So, for question number 42, second option is answer. See the question number 43. This is also a bit similar to the previous problem. Disc of mass 2 kg and radius 20 centimeters free to rotate about an axis through its center and perpendicular to the disc. The force 15 Newton is applied tangentially. Calculate the angular acceleration. Here this problem also based on same equation, torque equal I alpha. So you have to find moment of inertia I and the torque here. The force is applied tangential to the disc. The disc is free to rotate about the horizontal axis passing through its center, O. The force is applied tangential to the disc. Just as explained in the previous problem, here also you can see magnitude of the net torque on the disc, same as the magnitude of the moment of this tangential force. That you can write F into R. There R is the radius of the wheel. The moment of inertia of uniform circular disc about the central axis of symmetry. That is about the axis passing through the center of the disc. And perpendicular plane of the disc will be equal mr square by 2. You have to find alpha. So again we use the same equation. Torque equal to I into alpha. So alpha you can write torque by I. So magnitude of the torque you can write F into R. Moment of inertia equal mr square by 2. So alpha can be 2F by M into R. Now we can substitute all the given values. F is given to 50 newtons. The mass of the disc is 2 kg, radius R is 0.2 meter. So if you want to copy the solution of the problem, you can take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. So you get the answer as 250 radian per second square. So I have solved the question number 43 just now. So you got the second option as answer. Then see the question number 44. The position of the particle, of course, understood position vector of the particle is R bar equal to I bar plus 2J bar minus K bar. Momentum P bar equal to 3I bar plus 4J bar minus 2K bar. The angular momentum is perpendicular. That means you have to find the angular momentum of the particle with respect to the origin of the coordinate system. So we follow the cross product. This problem was given originally in one of the previous MSET exam papers in engineering. So you can write R bar is equal to 1 into I bar plus 2j bar plus minus 1 into k bar. And P bar equal to 3I bar plus 4j bar plus minus 2 into k bar. So angular momentum vector L bar of the particle with respect to origin O is given by R bar cross P bar. You can follow the determinant method to expand this. First row you can write I bar, J bar, K bar. Second row you can write 1, 2, minus 1. Third row you can write 3, 4, minus 2. So the expansion of this determinant is explained in the vectors chapter, the cross product multiplication of vectors. So you can expand this, you get I bar into, delete the first row and first column. So multiply these two, 2 into minus 2 minus of 4 into minus 1. So minus J bar into, delete the first row and middle column. So 1 into minus 2 plus, minus 3 into minus 1. Next plus K bar, delete the first row and third column. 1 into 4 minus 2 into 3. So you get x component of angular momentum 0. I bar minus 4 plus 4. Minus J bar into minus 2 plus 3. Plus K bar into 4 minus 6. So if you write the angular momentum L bar in the vector form, I bar into Lx plus J bar into Ly plus K bar into Lz. You can observe that x component of angular momentum is 0. The y component of the angular momentum will be minus 1. Z component of the angular momentum is minus 2. That means L bar acts in the yz plane. Therefore, you can conclude that L bar acts in yz plane. Or you can say L bar is perpendicular to x-axis. If you want to copy the solution, you can take a pause and copy the solution. So for question number 44, which I just discussed, first option will be the answer. See the question number 45. A wheel rotating at an angular speed of 16 radian per second is brought to rest by a constant torque in 4 seconds. The moment of inertia of the wheel about the axis of rotation is 0.25 kg meter square. Find the work done by the torque in the first 2 seconds. So work done by the torque in the first 2 seconds. You can write product of the magnitude of the torque and angular displacement theta in the first 2 seconds. So to find the angular displacement theta in the first 2 seconds, you have to know the angular acceleration alpha, and you have to also calculate torque. So moment of inertia is given to be 0.25 kg meter square. So torque can be I into alpha. So we have to calculate alpha now. The initial angular acceleration alpha, you can write change in the angular velocity by time interval. The final angular velocity of the wheel becomes 0 after 4 seconds. Initial angular velocity of the wheel is 16 radian per second. So angular acceleration alpha will be equal to minus 4 radian per second square. So magnitude of the torque applied, you can write I into alpha. 0.25 kg meter square. To alpha is minus 4 radian per second square. So you get minus 1 Newton meter. Negative sign indicates that the torque acts opposite to the initial angular velocity. To find work done in the first 2 seconds, you have to find the angular displacement theta in the first 2 seconds. So when a body rotates with a constant angular acceleration alpha, angular displacement covered in time t is given by omega I into t plus half alpha t square. So here the initial angular velocity is 16 radian per second. You have to find the angular displacement in the first 2 seconds. So take theta equal to 2 seconds. Alpha is constant, which is equal to minus 4 radian per second square. T is 2 seconds. This has to be simplified here. That means the angular displacement of the wheel in the first 2 seconds will be 32 minus 8 radian or 24 radian. So the work done is equal to torque and angular displacement. That is minus 1 Newton meter in 24 radian or minus 24 joules is the answer. Or magnitude of the work done by the retarding torque 24 joules in the first 2 seconds. So those who want to copy the solution of the problem, they can take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. So for question number 45, second option is answer. See the question number 46. That sinks to half the present radius without any change in mass. Then the length of the day becomes. The length of the day is nothing but the time period of rotation of the earth about the axis passing through its geographic poles. So applying conservation of angular momentum principle, L equal I omega is constant. So I dash omega dash, you can write I into omega. I is the present value of the moment of inertia of the earth about the axis passing through the poles. And omega is the present angular speed of rotation of the earth about the axis passing through the poles. I dash is the new value of the moment of inertia of the earth about the polar axis. Omega dash is the new angular speed of rotation of the earth about the polar axis. So moment of inertia treating earth like a uniform sphere of mass m and radius r. The present value of moment of inertia about the axis to the poles can be 2 by 5 m r square. Present angular speed you can write 2 pi by capital T. Where capital T is the present time period of rotation of the earth about the axis to the poles, or present length of the day. So moment of inertia of the earth in second case you can write 2 by 5 m into r dash square. R dash is the new radius of the earth. M is the mass of the earth which does not change. Omega dash you can write 2 pi by t dash. T dash is a new time period of rotation of the earth or new length of the day. So you can cancel 2m by 5 both the sides. 2 pi can also be cancelled. So you get t dash equal to t into r dash by r whole square. So the radius is new radius r dash is half of the original radius r here. So r dash by r you can substitute 1 by. Therefore t is 1 by 2 square into t into 1 by 2 is equal to t dash. And substituted r dash by r equal 1 by 2. So new length of the day are nothing but new time period of rotation of the earth about the axis through equals to 1/4 of the present time period of rotation of the earth. The present length of the day or present time period of rotation of the earth about the axis through the poles is 1 day or 24 hours. So new time period of rotation of the earth about the axis of the poles becomes 6 hours. That means the new length of the day becomes equal to 6 hours. So answer is 6 hours. If you want to copy the solution of the problem, you can take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. So for 46, first option is answer. See the next question, 47. Thin circular ring of mass m and radius r is rotating about its axis with a constant angular velocity omega. Two objects each of mass m are gently attached to the opposite ends of the diameter of the ring. The ring now rotates with an angular velocity. Can apply conservative angular momentum. We consider the ring and the two objects as one system. The ring is rotating about the central axis of symmetry. So final angular momentum system of the two objects and the ring about the axis of rotation can be taken to be same as its initial angular momentum of system. Initial angular momentum system called moment of inertia of the ring into initial angular speed. Both the objects can be assumed to initially at rest or not rotating. So initial angular momentum of each object about the axis of rotation is 0. Final angular momentum system is equal to final angular momentum of the ring plus final angular momentum of the objects. I am using the formula L equal to I omega. Angular momentum of a body rotating about a fixed axis can be written as product of its moment of inertia and angular velocity of rotation. So moment of inertia of each object about the axis of rotation can add small m into r square. Each object is rotating. Will be rotating a circular path of radius small r when the object is placed at the end of the diameters of the ring. So on left side I have shown one object here, another object. Mass of the ring is denoted by capital. Let omega dash be the new angular speed of rotation of the ring about the axis of rotation. So there are into omega dash. This gives the angular momentum of one of the objects into 2. Moment of inertia of the ring you can substitute it as capital M into r square. You simplify this. You can simplify this yourself and complete the problem. So you get omega dash equal to m into omega by capital M plus 2 into small m. Here r square gets cancelled. So I'll continue discussion next class.